Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Mr. Jabulani Ncube is a legal officer at the government attorney. He has 15 years of experience and 3 years of magistracy, so that's beautiful. And he has got a great deal of experience in terms of complex cases that are reported in the Namibian law reports. Spiritually, he's involved with the church as a deacon, and he is also the one who officiated Mumzy's marriage. He's a mentor and an author. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jabulani Ncube.
Someone said because of the Ukrainian war, COVID is gone. Because we don't talk about it anymore. I've actually forgotten about COVID. But nonetheless, now we've just been reminded that we should social distance and we should start. Thank you so much for inviting me, Mumzy. I feel I'm amidst royalty, even having the first daughter here in the Middle East. Wow, it's an honor. It's really an honor to be with all these great people. Miss Ikosa, we met I think about 2 weeks ago at church. By the way, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm supposed to be at church right now because I go to church on Saturday. But I thought to myself, well, I cannot miss this important, auspicious occasion. And it seems I'm probably, well, you might correct me, I might be the only Zimbabwean who's here, and I thank God for that. A Zimbabwean who has become Namibian. Yes, and thank you so much for hosting me in this wonderful, hot country, which is a desert and an ocean. Thank you so much. When I married Miss Chukwu in 2009, I was a very new person in Namibia. As a magistrate in Okahanja, very new, still trying to find myself around this country. And here I am 13 years later, I'm still in Namibia. And with Miss Chukwu, she has been a wonderful person to me in the sense that she worked at the High Court, and we always carry briefcases and robes going to court each and every day, trying to argue our cases before court. And I can tell you one thing, she has been one of the best registrars at the High Court, one of those people that are very much of assistance. I'll tell you a very interesting story. Last year, I had to bring what you call an agent application on a Monday, and I had to work on that agent application on a weekend. Now, there was no registrar to issue. I see Miss Esther, welcome. She was also at the High Court at some point. So I had to find a registrar. So you cannot start a case without it being issued or without it being stamped in court. Do you know what happened? I had to drive to her home. She asked me to come to her house, and that was not the end of the surprise. She even served me with a goosey, a Nigerian dish. So as she was busy with my paperwork, she was also feeding me at that time. And I actually went along with my son, if you remember, and it was quite exciting time. So this is the aspect of networking. Everyone else has spoken about time, but there's an important aspect you raise in your book about working with the right people. As a legal practitioner, we quote sections, so it's on page 101 of your book. Working with the right people, that is a very important aspect that you said. We are members of a global village, and today we are going to meet networks. In fact, Anthony, I can't see him, there he is. We have done programs together on TV, New Season. I've been there several times with him, one of the gospel shows. So when we met here, we're like, wow, it's a small world. So Mumzy, you have brought the right people together. And it is going to be, you know, you were dreaming of meeting the president. I am going to have the number of the first daughter today. So, the dreams, this is the closest I can get to the president. So, that is it. So, Without negotiation, her number is going to be in my phone today. Because you say on page 80, no man is an island, right? Because in my language, I speak Ndebele, that's my native language. In my language in Ndebele, we say umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. The Ubuntu principle, right? So we are because you are because of I am. So that is very critical to me. And today, after this, it's interesting. I've seen the musician also sometimes on NBC, and it's good that we're in the same room. Now it's all about the networks. And people here were talking about time. We waste so much time on WhatsApp and on so many other aspects when we can network. So this is an opportunity for us to network. You also said something interesting on page 88 of your book. This is probably one of my most important quotations. If you can conceive it in your mind, you can become. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. That is the mental aspect of creation. So I go back to my example today. I dream of getting the first daughter's number. And I'm going to get it today. And the business card. Well, I dreamt it, it's coming. And also, I worked closely with the executive director of the judiciary, who's also going to come. These are very important people. And those years when I was an advisor to the Public Service Commission, we would have battles over court issues. But thank God we are in the same room today. So this is what is important. And on page 131 of your book, you say something important. Attitude can open doors or close doors. If you add attitude, it gives you 100%. If you add A representing 1, T representing whatever, up to the end, if you add all those, you get 100%. So it is all about attitude. I am so glad to have been part of this launch. As I close, I grew up. There was a story that my grandmother told me. She passed on 2 years ago. She lived a long life. She was 95. But when my grandmother told me a very interesting life, she said, I'm going to leave you with these words. When it comes to relationships with people, there are two types of people that you meet. You see, I grew up in a small town in Zimbabwe called Wange. So Wange is 100 kilos after, I know all of you know Victoria Falls. So when you go further from Victoria Falls, 100 kilos later, is a town called Wange. It's a coal mining town. Now, she then used this illustration. I grew up with coal. And she said, you will meet people in life who are like coal. When you hold coal in your hands, what happens? And you drop it. It leaves your hands dirty. There are people who are like that. You're going to meet people like that who, when you drop down, when you hold them as coal and they drop down, they'll make you dirty. But I want you, my grandson, to meet people who will be like a rose. When you hold them, they will leave the good scent in your hands, meaning you are going to be important to them, and that scent you will project it all over. Madam Chukwu, you have been that scent, and we talk a lot. In fact, even this week I was talking to you. I know you were in the stress of this, but I was stressing looking for a translator from Herero to English for a court document. And I stressed you, but amidst all this, you gave me those necessary links, and that's the importance. All the time, whenever I've contacted her, she has always assisted me, and that's the beauty of having networks and relationships. So thank you for all these networks that you have given me, and for this important thing. And as I take my business card from Madam First Lady, I can take a bite. No time to waste time.
Come on, let's give it up for Mr. Jabulani. Wow. Yes. Things can happen, eh? Come on, let's give it up once again. I love this. And it's true what you're saying in your speech that, people we meet and we meet for a reason. It's either a lesson or it's always a lesson, by the way.